ever gone camping and forgotten a tent or a sleeping bag? I haven't, because I'm a bit of a checklist fiend, but my husband forgot his sleeping bag once and his parents didn't bring a tent. That was a holiday to remember. A little bit noisy on the zip, zip, zip during the night. Now, checklists is a really useful tool. I have checklists for all sorts of things, particularly for going on holiday, because when you've got 3 kids, bicycles, cats, somebody house sitting, you might be going camping, cycling, all sorts of things. It's worth having a list of the things that every time you go think, oh, I wish we'd had one of those with us. Now, some of those are more critical than others, like the tent for camping, and some of them are kind of annoying, but not actually critical. Now, people like pilots use checklists all the time, not necessarily just to remind them of the bleeding obvious, but also because it helps them communicate, pilot, co-pilot and air crew, so that they really understand. You hear them going through their checking procedure every time they take off. So pilots have checklists, but so do surgeons. So Atul Gawande, who wrote his checklist manifesto, was talking about the importance of checklists, not just to get us to focus on the present task and leave all the other stuff behind us, like the shopping lists and what we're doing and what school plays we have to go to, you know, what the current state of alert is, but also to get us communicating, to focus on what's important. And that's why in my books, I always have checklists, because I think it's a really useful way to remind you of all the key points that your contract needs, why they need them, and to provide some sort of backup. So if you haven't got a copy of my book, you can still find a checklist on my website called the STAR Checklist, and it's got 10 questions which you have to answer, rank in one of 3 ways. So it might be yes, no, maybe, some or none, and that gives you a ranking. But it also has loads of links to parts of my blog, to explanations, to explain how you can do it differently. I think checklists aren't for the stupid, they're for everyone. They're not a sign of weakness, they're a sign of strength. A checklist can make you look like a genius by picking up something that everybody else has somehow forgotten in the mad rush of transactions and business. You know what? How many times do you leave the home in a hurry and you've forgotten something critical, like your laptop on the train? That sort of thing happens to all of us all of the time, and maybe we don't constantly write on the back of our hands what we need to have with us. But checklists are really useful, particularly when you're setting up a new relationship with a new company, a new client, a new supplier. And that checklist forms a good record of your agreement and forms the basis of your contract. So use checklists. Make sure you're not missing something obvious and critical. Make sure you're not doing what NASA did back in the late 1990s. They entered into a project to build the Mars Climate Orbiter. They spent $125 million on this. The contractor, Lockheed Martin, worked in one set of units, metric. NASA worked in imperial, as a result of which they lost the satellite. It was no good. It didn't do what it set out to do. They lost years of work and $125 million worth of kit just by not checking their assumptions. So please use contracts. Keep it really simple, but use contracts and checklists to make sure that you're doing business in the right way. Find out more at my website, 500words.co.uk. Safeguard your business without annoying your clients.